Final topic of the day. We got a little bit of news about the Greta Gerwig Chronicles of Narnia film. There's speculation that there's some studios that are really angry that a Netflix movie is potentially going to get IMAX screens because Greta said she wanted a theatrical release to want to do this. So there's some struggle behind the scenes, and then reports came out they're filming it next year. And then Amy Pascal, who produced she was with Sony for a long time, heavily involved with a number of Spider-Man projects. So she's doing this Barbie film, gave an interview with Deadline. And you can watch the interview. It's on their channel. The quotes are spreading all over Twitter, but not a lot of people have actually watched the clips themselves. But so she gave this interview and she was asked about Greta Gerwig's version of the Chronicles of Narnia. And the quote she gave is very, very, very weird. And she says, "It's a very new take on Narnia. It's all about rock and roll." So when I saw that the interview was actually posted on the internet, you can see how she said it. So I looked it up, and essentially the interviewer's like, "So this is going to be a new take. You're trying to do something new with it." And she goes, "Yeah, it's a new take. It's all about rock and roll." It says it matter of fact.
That's a new take on Narnia, or?
A very new take on Narnia. It's all about rock and roll.
Wow, okay. How about Greta Gerwig?
She doesn't say it like smirk. She doesn't say it and laugh. She says it matter of fact, and he's like, "Oh, that's kind of interesting." And they start talking. So many of us read this quote on Twitter, saw this quote when she said it, and we went, "What?" What on earth are you talking about? What on earth does that mean? What are you implying? Where on earth are you going with this? So I made a tweet, and it just, with that quote, it basically said, "This sounds awful," or "terrible," something like that. And the vast majority of people agreed with me, and a handful of people were like aghast that anybody would doubt Greta Gerwig for anything that she would do because of her track record. So, as soon as they announced Greta Gerwig was doing Chronicles of Narnia, I was very nervous. Now, you can look at her track record, that she's put out movies that were well received by audiences and critics. There's no reason to doubt that she's talented, that she can put out an interesting film that will probably resonate with a lot of people. She's proven that. But that doesn't mean she's the right person to adapt the Chronicles of Narnia. And in particular, because she is a writer-director that does have a distinct voice and distinct vibe, ideas that she likes to explore, and she's adapting the writings of C.S. Lewis, one of the most beloved Christian thinkers and theologians, and now she will be adapting his most beloved not narratives, fictional writings that she did that are allegories for Christianity. And in particular, in The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, very overtly Christ allegories. And so you immediately hear that she's doing that, and you go, I don't doubt that she can do something interesting. I just don't think that what makes her a beloved director with an interesting voice is what Narnia needs to be a faithful adaptation. So I've always been nervous about them bringing her in. Some of it's just in general, I don't really trust Hollywood, Netflix, any of these major corporations to adapt the writings of C.S. Lewis because they are just so infused with beliefs. It's not just a random thing. It's not Batman. It's literally allegory for the faith that I hold. A lot of concerns about her. So then when you start getting these statements from the producer and she's like, it's a very new take on Narnia. That's not what I think fans of C.S. Lewis and the fans of Chronicle of Narnia want to hear. They don't want a new take on Narnia. They want a faithful adaptation of Narnia. They don't feel it is something that is broken, that needs fixing. It just needs to be adapted, brought over from one medium where it is now a timeless classic over into another medium where we want a timeless classic version of it. And so you hear, it's a very new take on it. A lot of us hear that and immediately go, ooh, that's the opposite of what I want to hear. That's not good. Beyond, like, it reminds me of Peter Jackson talking about adapting Tolkien. And he made these statements, I don't remember the exact quote was, but about how, like, his job isn't to put his spin on it. His job is to be a faithful shepherd of it, to rightfully, as best he can, bring to life the world of Middle Earth and these beloved stories to the screen as faithfully as possible. There's changes that need to be made because of mediums, because of length, a number of things like that. But that's his job, not to like infuse it with his ideas and his flavor. And you hear, oh, we're doing a new take on Narnia. And it immediately feels like we're trying to infuse our ideas, our spin on it, do something different when it's always weird to me when they do these adaptations where they're adapting an IP with a built-in audience. The audience, you know they have a built-in audience because they love that thing for what it is. And then you say, yeah. We want to make a thing for that audience by changing it from that thing that they love. Why are you doing that? Why would you think that's what we wanted? It's bizarre. That leads to the other part of the statement that's where it gets even weirder, because she didn't just say it's a new take. Like, she said, it's all about rock and roll. And I watched the video. I watched it because I wanted to see, how does she say this? Like, what's the tone? What's the vibe? What's the nature of it? I still have no idea what she means. If she's joking, I don't know. I don't know what's going on here, because that's all about rock and roll. What? What? Tonally? Literally? What are you saying? I don't know. And when you're adapting something that is so beloved, has stood the test of time, many generations, if you're trying to build confidence in audiences, what you don't do is say really strange things that make it seem like you have no idea what you're doing. Saying you want to do a new take makes me, ooh, that's not good. Oh, what's your new take? It's rock and roll, baby. Like, what? What are you talking about? Where are you going with this? What on earth does that mean? So as I mentioned over on Twitter, I had some people like try to like, it's cute that you're doubting Greta Gerwig. Like, well, not doubting her talent. I'm doubting if this makes any sense. It's like I kept asking this one person specifically, like, what makes her a good fit for Narnia? And what about these quotes gets you excited for it being an adaptation of Narnia? Never responded to any of that, but they're like, oh, I don't want another boring adaptation. She's such a fresh, interesting director. She'll do something new and different with it. And if you just love Greta Gerwig and you don't mind that they're going to change Narnia, and so you're excited to, oh, yeah, whatever she wants to cook, let her cook. That's a fair position to hold. And I'll hear that and I go, oh, gotcha. I understand what you're saying. I understand why you're excited for it. However, if you're not able to understand why a bunch of people that have grown up reading the Chronicles of Narnia and C.S. Lewis would read these quotes and go, what are we doing? You can't figure that out. If you don't understand why it's all about rock and roll in regards to this classic traditional adaptation, like book from C.S. Lewis, if you don't understand why people would go, what? That's weird. It's pretty obvious why these comments are raising eyebrows and making people go, I don't know what we're doing here. I don't know what this is about. So, this continues to be one of these projects that just has me very concerned, because everything they're saying, everything they're doing just sounds bad to me. It sounds off and it sounds wrong. Most of these clips are pulled from my Patreon live streams. I do about 6 live streams every single month for $2 per month, $20 per year. You can get access to all the exclusive videos and live streams. For $5 per month, you get your name on my end card. At the top tier, you get a 30-minute video chat with me each month. The link down below in the description has more information.